It's the Gauntlet. Let's go.
If you smell what the Gauntlet is cooking.
Welcome. Friday Night Lights, baby. I am your moderator, Denzel Snipes, and this is The Gauntlet, live on Sideline Sports. We got a jam-packed show for you. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in with us. Shout out to JT Shiesty. He is currently at NLCS Game 3 out there in Philly, out there repping. So, Horseman out there repping for all of us and getting it in and covering the Phillies Padres game. But we're going to go ahead and get the crew in here because, like I said, we do got a jam-packed show. Seems like last night we finally got a good to semi-good Thursday night football game. I would like to think the Cardinals by themselves, hell, even the Saints by themselves, were better than the last two Thursday night football games. And they lost. But I don't know. I digress. Let's go ahead and bring the crew in here. All the way from the great state of Michigan, Livonia, Michigan, right outside of Detroit. He's been in a few hoods or two, and he's got more Southern rap in his deck than you do. Come on in here, Detroit Dom.
I love that intro. I am Detroit.
How there you go.
First time in 3 weeks that I was mad at myself for not even turning on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, you definitely missed out. You know what I mean? I kind of get it why people didn't, you know what I mean? But it's like, okay, well, on one end of the spectrum, we had like the Colts and the Broncos, and that was bad. Then we had the Bears and the Commanders, and that was bad, But I mean, the Cardinals and Saints were better than the previous four teams, so I kind of figured, why not give it a chance? I'm gonna watch it anyway, and I know I'm gonna be drinking, so either I'm gonna be super hyped or I'm gonna cuss both teams out. So either way, I get mine. But let's bring in our two guests. Oh, and shout out to JJ Jenkins. He's stuck in some bank somewhere. Hopefully he's not being held up, But let's bring in our guest. He's kind of driving home right now. He wasn't Ubering. He wasn't, selling suits or cab driving or nothing like that. But he is the architect of the Pundit's Pundit. He's also on Basket Bros. He's going to be in a movie soon. Also, he is the co-host of Yin and Yang with TJ Sanson outside the network. He's doing a lot of great stuff. But this is the Pundit's Pundit. He's your mom's favorite pundit. If you have pests in the house, I'm talking about a pet rat. Been the two of us. He's his favorite pundit, Jacob Christner.
Wow. I'm telling you right now, you need to be in some starting lineups in some NBA.
I was just about to say, anytime you want to move up here and replace Mason as our PA announcer for the Pistons, the job is yours, sir.
Oh, and I
can use the money.
And Jay, I was telling him tonight, he was saying to me, I was on a mini vacation, so I was drunk. I was saying, with him, he needs to be on a mini vacation and he's sober.
Hey, Dom had a bit of a beard last week. Now he's down to a goatee.
No, not even. It's just the stubble.
Hey, it's still facial hair. Hey, we do have one more guest. So he hadn't been on here in a minute, and I know he's feeling a little, a little heavy about himself. His Steelers did upset the Buccaneers, but this is Jordan Long. No, excuse me, I'm sorry, wrong Jordan. Jordan Pennington. Jordan Pennington, everyone. As soon as he comes back.
Jordan Long. There's Jordan Long. He made himself disappear in some of his messages.
I'm sure he's gonna be here in just a minute. As soon as he comes back on camera, we'll bring him on. We'd like to.
No. You know Jordan Long. He always likes to make messages disappear. That's just what he is now.
Yeah. Oh wait, here's Jordan right here. Hey, what's going on, Jordan?
Hey, what up, though?
Been a long time, man. Hold on. You've been working out. What's going on?
We talked about this. I made a whole Facebook post about it. I'm going to let you slide because you're my boy. You're from Pittsburgh. You can't say what up, though. You can because you're my boy.
Bunny Rabbit, what up, though?
Well, let's get it. Let's get it cracking. First of all, everybody, the Gauntlet is brought to you by Fanatics, where sports fans shop. We are sponsored by Fanatics and also by Yeti, and also we are on Cash App under Gauntlet Sports Media. We will take donations. I know Dom needs beer money. I know JT Shiesty, he needs to feed his dog. Shout out to Mango. I know JJ Jenkins, he needs to re-up his subscription to the Wildlife Channel or whatever it is he be watching. And I like Ciroc and Hennessy. So
if 10 of you could just send us $1 each, it would pay for our StreamYard. We give
It
you all
actually
this content. You could give us $1.
yeah,
Just saying.
a dollar a day will feed us. I'm just saying, but hey, Gauntlet Sports Media on Cash App, we do take donations. And let's get it started.
Not with this inflation.
Yeah, actually make that $1.50.
Yeah.
Yeah, kick that up to about $1.50, maybe $1.25. We'll let that slide. But let's go ahead and kick this episode off with your favorite, our favorite Sports Morons of the Week, where any one of us on here takes the most egregious takes from the past week, and we call them out on it. And shout out to Tyler Ingram, man. I've been trying to get this man out of retirement for one night only. One of these days I'm going to do it. But let's go ahead and get it started. Sports Morons of the Week. I know Tyler got something to say.
Are you guys kidding me? Are you guys kidding me?
My sports moron is the Carolina Panthers. You finally traded Christian McCaffrey for what? They got a few picks, less than they should have in the offseason. You could have traded him in the offseason for Deshaun Watson, brought the asking price and or number of draft picks down. You also waited about 5 weeks too long to fire your coach, and you have a quarterback controversy. And just like I predicted, Baker is bakering, and now everyone, including you, Jen Matthews Lewis, is hoping and praying for the speedy recovery of one Sam Darnold. So, Carolina Panthers, it's you this week. Sorry, not sorry.
Well, let me give you this thing. Let me say this right now. Here's my sports morons of the week. Any fan, whether it's for the fantasy fools, the Madden morons, or any of those types that are threatening athletes' lives because they're having a bad game. These are people who have our lives. They have wives, they have kids, they have everything. They are human. They are going beyond the fact that you are threatening their lives over what'd you do? You lose your fantasy league? Did you lose a bet? Did you lose some money this week? Whatever. Either way, here's the deal. You can't beat them in a fight for one thing. We already seen this in the crowd. We already seen this in the stands. You can't beat them, so you're not going to have a chance. But number two, grow up. Grow up seriously. For one thing, they have a job to do. Maybe they make much more money than you, but they earned it. They earned it by being something special. You may not be something special. Go do something special. Maybe you'll get all that anger out of you.
I don't know if y'all can hear me because I did not hear that last segment at all. My sports moron of the week is Ben Simmons in his debut or second game with the Nets. But he fouled out with like 4 points, couple rebounds, couple assists. Shout out to James Tatum. Ben Simmons, sports moron of the week.
It's been a while since we had a Ben Simmons mention, but welcome back, Benson Simmons, a sports moron. I didn't have one personally. I'm just going to go off of what Jacob said. And, you pay attention close enough to this network, you'll see us not only on this show, but on other shows. And we can be a bit anti-fan. If we were in pro wrestling, we'd easily be heels, But this is exactly what I've said over and over and over and over again. And that is, fans can literally be the worst things in sports. Don't get me wrong. At times they can be the best things in sports, but they can be the absolute worst and ruin it for everything and everybody, for a whole fan base. Okay, this goes back to I don't know if you all remember, for example, this is back in the 2011 NFC Championship game, and Kyle Williams muffed 2 punts that ultimately lost them the game. And 49ers fans, they sent death threats to his family. Like that was too far. That was much too. And there's been much more. There's been much more that's happened before. When I was in college, I wrote an opinion article on the fan that heckled Vernon Maxwell and brought up his stillborn daughter. And Maxwell went in there and deservedly punched that fan in the face. You know, and this is the stuff that I keep bringing up. Is whenever the fan thinks that they're bigger than the athlete, whenever the fan thinks that they somehow matter that much, you know what I mean? To where they think they can just do it because, oh, well, we bought the tickets, we pay your salary. That doesn't mean that you go and you send death threats to a man's family or threaten him while on the court or whatever. Boo, you suck. Okay, that's cool, that's fine. But to just say any old thing, does anybody remember the drunk fans that was heckling LeBron and LeBron had him removed? That was sometime, I think, last year or the year before. See, yeah, it's stuff like that. So, I mean, just going off what Jacob said, just reiterates the fact that, you know, fans can be the worst things in sports. And, well, there you have it. So, with that being said, let's get the crew back in here. Detroit Goatee Dom, a.k.a. White Marcus Burnett. Jacob Christner, a.k.a. Retired tennis player ×3, but he might come back. And Jordan Long, damn it.
If you call him Jordan Long one more time, I swear.
He's just combining my regular profile on Facebook with my burner account.
We know it's not Jordan Long because there's no notes nearing.
That's funny. I forgot about your Richard Long profile.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But hey, we have been a long time since we seen you on the show, man. Welcome back. You know, look like you've been in the gym, put on a little weight. You need to go out there and help your Steelers out. You know what I'm saying?
Put me a linebacker, coach.
Let's move on to our next topic, and that is I'd like to thank everybody who went on my Twitter and voted for our Player of the Week, Seahawks legendary running back Marshawn Lynch. So, who is Marshawn Lynch? Let's take a look. He was drafted 12th overall in 2007 after spending 2-3 years at Cal. He was drafted by the Bills, and then he went and played for the Seattle Seahawks from 2010 to 2015. He went to Oakland, kind of played for the hometown team for about 2 years. Then he went back to Seattle for a one-off year in 2019. Let's see. He did win the Super Bowl. He's a first-team All-Pro in 2012, second-team All-Pro in 2014, 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time NFL rushing touchdown leader. He's on the NFL 2010s All-Decade team, the PFWA All-Rookie team. In college, he was a first-team All-American, a first-team All-Pac-10, Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Year, a Holiday Bowl, Co-Offensive Most Valuable Player, and a Las Vegas Bowl Most Valuable Player. In his career, he has over 10,000 rushing yards. He averaged 4.2 yards per carry, 85 rushing touchdowns, 287 receptions. Yes, he can catch it out of the backfield. 2,214 receiving yards and 9 receiving touchdowns. He will almost certainly be in the Seahawks Ring of Fame. And everyone remembers the 2010 playoffs when he had the Beastquake run. But not enough people talk about him having the second Beastquake run versus the Cardinals in 2014, the sequel to it. And it almost was just as nasty. But this was a dude who was the ultimate rebel. And I know we've rehashed the Super Bowl where he shouldn't have gotten the ball over and over again. Not really going to get too much into it. Y'all know the story. Y'all know my stance on it. It ain't never going to change. I don't want to hear analytics. Shut up. All right? Marshawn should have gotten the ball, period. You know, but with that being said, I'd like to swing it over to my cohort, Detroit Dom, and your thoughts on Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch.
4.2 yards per carry, which is stellar. He kind of reminds me of a young Jerome Bettis because he was just a battering ram, but he didn't get old and slow and just become a goal line guy like the bus. When he had that run, let's see, 2011 to 2014, 4 straight years with 10 touchdowns, Pro Bowl all 4 of those years, All Pro in 2012. Let's see, that All Pro year, he missed a game and still ran for almost 1,600 yards and the vaunted the only number that matters in football across an entire season or a career, and the reason that Nick Chubb is the best running back in the NFL, 5 yards a carry. That is hard to do for a season, let alone a career. When I was looking over, it kind of his career arc kind of reminded me a little bit of Marshall Falk. Like he just played those 2 years in Buffalo. I meant to look. One of you guys probably knows. How did he end up in Seattle? I'm assuming it was a trade, but who was it for?
I don't
Is what
think it was a
It was being
trade.
traded.
Had to be trade 'cause he was only there 2 years. Transactions. It's not there. But yeah,
I don't think it was a trade. Was it?
had to have been. He couldn't have signed a 2-year. I mean, he went to Seattle in the middle. Well, wait.
Yeah, he was in trouble in Buffalo. I thought they cut him. Or am I wrong?
That.
I'm probably wrong. I don't know.
No, I just
We go to the
reference.
hang on one
Pro
second.
Football Reference, you failed me because the transaction was not there. But yeah, the comparison I was trying to draw with Marshall Falk was they let him go. Actually, the Rams did the same thing with Jerome Bettis. Like
Yes, they did.
that sort of thing doesn't happen anymore until maybe today with CMC. We'll get into that later. But suffice it to say, I feel like if Buffalo knew that he was going to be the guy that he ended up being, they probably never would have traded him, although he had an outstanding rookie year and second year. 1,000 yards both years, over
They
4 yards
also
a carry.
drafted Willis McGahee and gave up on that experiment as well.
Could have been. But yeah, you can't really say enough about Marshawn Lynch. Plus, also a very intelligent guy, funny guy, does a lot for the community in Oakland. Like literally went back there just to be, it's not like the Raiders were any great shakes when he went there. He wanted to go home, and the whole the DUI pullover notwithstanding. But have you guys seen that?
Oh yeah.
Oh man. And he was driving. That's scary and irresponsible. But Jacob?
my greatest memory of Marshawn is it involves my only fantasy football title off of a random league. It was, I can tell you this story right off the bat. I was in my usual 500 or less at the time, kind of struggling. Somebody decided they liked, because Trubisky was a bit hot, they loved it. They traded me Cooper Kupp and Marshawn Lynch for Trubisky and somebody else.
Wow.
Wow.
Because they needed a quarterback. He was hot.
Highway robbery.
Can you invite that guy to my fantasy league?
Yeah.
Now he plays for my team. Woohoo!
Yeah, it's like, but I'm like, that got me my only title because I went on a hot streak after that. because the one thing's Marshawn, just a touchdown machine. Absolutely. But here's the thing about Marshawn. Absolute star. Like, we talk about stars all the time. We talk about Pat McAfee, star. The Mannings are stars. Television stars. Watch him on those Uber Eats ads. Watch Marshawn on that. Watch Marshawn on various other things, like as on television or any other deal. He's a star. He's a star beyond that. He's made it beyond football, and it's one of those where easily with his size, he could have been another Earl Campbell, where he could have just been limping the rest of his life, and done all that stuff. But this is the new era of medical. And the thing is, we don't know if Earl Campbell did not smoke weed because it would have been caught or whatever. He might have been able to get off the pain. The weed probably helps his pain, because he probably has a lot of pain from all those years. But we don't see him struggling to walk. We don't see a lot of that kind of stuff. He's got a decently healthy body for what his size is.
Yeah.
So he's got that right there. But the thing about Marshawn is, I feel like he trolls the world just the hell of it.
Yeah.
He trolls the world. It's like there's people out there would be like, oh my God, those dreads. Oh my God, he smokes weed. Oh my God, this and that, blah, blah. He does all this to troll them, but in the end, he's got a phenomenal heart. Phenomenal heart.
And the king of the press conference one-liners.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's like, but he's phenomenal hard. He wants to help people that don't have much. And it's like, and he went home, like you said. He went home, and you know something? If he could have done 7, like when Andre just blank check said fill it out, he goes a lot away with it because he.
Hey, you're coming in and out, Jacob. What was that last thing?
I said if he could have done the Andre Dawson deal where he was given a blank check and said, "Here, fill it out," and the guy got 500,000, blah blah blah, and he could have done that if he was allowed to, and the NFLPA would have allowed it. He would have, stuff like that. He would have done it because he just wanted to go home to finish his career.
Yeah, absolutely. People look at, and maybe that's, on some of the media out here, is they're always quick to highlight, oh, well, because he isn't, squeaky clean, he's a bit of a rebel, there's even been a theory that call in the Super Bowl was more political, because he was a rebel and they didn't want him to be the hero. They wanted squeaky clean Russell Wilson to be the hero and whatnot, in which I will say that dumb decision magnifies if you lost the Super Bowl based on politics, but that's neither here nor there.
It's because Marshawn and that defense already won them that first Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And if he did it again, there'd be no denying it. You know?
There'd be no denying it, and they were really trying to make Russell the franchise. They wanted the quarterback to be the lead dog instead of a defense or the running back. And which you just got to think, had they gotten their heads together, how many more titles could they have won? But let's bring it over to Jordan about Marshawn Lynch. Your thoughts?
My favorite thing about the guy is, like y'all mentioned, them one-word interviews after games. He'd be like, "I'm blessed." 5 more reporters, "I'm blessed." Same answer over and over. At the Super Bowl, "I'm just here so I don't get fined."
Yeah.
That one, like, he did a whole little speech talking about take care of your chickens. That was my favorite.
Right. Yeah. And, like, to get to him as a player, like, that's the kind of running back you want. He's a bruiser, but he could also catch the ball out of the backfield. And once you get this man in space, good luck tackling him.
Yeah.
But
Pro Football Reference says he's 215. There's no way he only weighed 215.
Oh my God! One of his legs weighs 215.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, nonetheless, after hearing his stats, I did not realize that he has 85 touchdowns in how many years? What, like 10, 11, 12?
Oh yeah, he played what? Yeah, he had that. Like I said, he had that one off year in 2019. But he left. Yeah, so about 12 years.
How many fumbles?
But he also only played. Wait,
Jerome Bettis played how many years and only had 91 touchdowns?
Yeah,
that's crazy to me.
I'm curious, how many fumbles did he have?
Probably like 15.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it feels like it.
27. I don't know about how many lost. For some reason, they only list fumbles, not fumbles lost.
Yeah, but no. You want to know how? Do you know how many Walter Payton had in 12 years?
50.
How many?
84.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
He had 84. But that's the thing, though. Walter was the whole offense. That's when you hold the ball as many times as you do, as he did. I mean, see, never the whole offense. When you hold the ball as much as you do, people are going to say, well, that's horrible. He had the ball between, he had every possession between catching, blocking, everything, carrying the ball. He had it 45 times a game.
A game, yeah.
So you're going to fumble.
Yeah.
In comparison, Barry Sanders had 41 in 10 years.
Yeah.
But 10 his rookie year.
I mean, Walter Payton had 84 and 12, but he also was around for 50 possessions.
Yeah.
So that's he's around for 50. So that's what the thing is. He's around for that per game. So he's holding the ball 40 times between the catch and the thing. So it's going to happen a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But it's a good time to segue into our next topic. Much love to Marshawn Lynch, and thanks to everyone who partook in the voting. Well, our next topic is going to be our Week 6 Gauntlet Grinders. These are our players of the week from week 6, ladies and gentlemen. So some of them you may agree with, some of them you may not agree with, but we're gonna go ahead and kick it to our crew here and see who the Gauntlet Grinders was. We're gonna start off with Dom. Go ahead, bro.
Before you do that, go to commercial because this is going to run way past half. Or don't.
Nope, you're right.
Okay.
We're gonna
Say what? Gauntlet Grinders or commercial? You let me know. Commercial?
We're gonna go to commercial.
Grinders.
All right, go to commercial.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at
You gotta queue up
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Yes, we are sponsored by Fanatics. We are back live. It's about the midway point of the show. I am Denzel Snipes, and I'm here with Jordo, Jacob, and Dom. And this is our next topic, and that is our Gauntlet Grinders for week 6. Kicking it off with our boy Dom.
Okay, Gauntlet Grinders. NFC. Kenneth Walker, 21 carries, 97 yards, 1 Jakes in a 19-9 win over Arizona. I told y'all. I don't even watch college football, and I told y'all about Kenneth Walker. It was just a matter of time. Like, shout out to Chris Carson. Sorry about your neck injury. You were a good player, had a bright future, had to retire. It was only a matter of time before Rashad Penny got hurt, and he did. He broke his leg, and then here comes Kenneth Walker. 97 yards last week. The week before, he had almost 90 on about 8 carries. He's a stud. I heard rumors about Seattle trying to acquire another running back. I can't remember who it was. I guess they think maybe he needs some help. He doesn't. He's the closest thing I've seen to a workhorse back since, I don't know, Derrick Henry maybe. AFC, I've got Breece Hall, probably the best running back in the draft. He's been on fire lately. He had a long catch and run 2 weeks ago. This past week, 20 carries, 116 yards, 1 Jake in a 27-10 win over Green Bay on the other side of the pond. So shout out to those running backs, Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall. I love you both, and not just because you're on my fantasy teams.
All right, my Gauntlet Grinders are a little different because I'm not going to go totally into stats. My AFC one, this isn't just week 6. This is just going to the thing because I wasn't some of the weeks. My thing is Skylar Thompson. The reason I'm bringing up Skylar Thompson in Miami is because his dad was a coach for I'm from a small town called Quincy, Illinois. His dad was a coach for a basketball team called in Palmyra, Missouri, which is about 22 miles away. It's a little small farm town. And though in our time, the farm towns, those little bitty things, any of that kind of stuff, you always had the guy who can throw maybe 3 yards, and it was the 3 yards, and it was all running. It was 400 yards of rushing. It was all that stuff around cornfields. They weren't even going to go to college, or if they did, it was a small college. They were getting ready to go be welders or something. Skylar Thompson overcame that part because he is an athlete. He worked, and even though he started the year 3rd string on the scout team, on everything, and he got to play in the NFL. If he never does again, he came from that little farm town and made it. And I'm proud of him. No matter what the numbers were and everything, he became a starter in the NFL. And as far as the NFC, I'm going to say Khalil Herbert. Because the Bears have such a miserable system, offensive system, where nobody knows what's going on. And he's supposed to be off the bench spelling David Montgomery. He just gets 6 more yards a carry each and every time, even though he only gets the ball about 7 times a game. and they don't know what to do with the system or anything, but he makes the most of every possession he gets. And he's about to take the job, and it's about to get David Montgomery traded. And I have to give him the credit for that kind of grinder because he never quit through. He could have asked for a trade himself, and now he's about to be the number one man.
Oh, hey, it's on me. So, Gauntlet Grinder for the NFC, I'm going to go with, everybody might not agree with this one, Marcus Mariota. He had a stellar game for the Falcons, led them to yet another win. At one point, I think he was either 12 of 12 or 12 of 13 passing. But nonetheless, they won the game. Falcons tied for first. Nobody seen that coming. AFC, I agree with Dom. Brees Hall, best running back in the draft by far. But I'm going to throw in the bias pick for y'all real quick. Chase Claypool, his best game since 2020 when he was a rookie. 7 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. Game-sealing catch, too, by the way.
That's crazy because I almost said Mariota, but good pick, Jordo. So my gauntlet grinder. So I guess I'm my apologies. I guess I gotta cheat the system here. So for the AFC, I've got Jamar Chase. In the win versus New Orleans, 30-26, 7 receptions, 132 yards. He averaged 18.9 yards per catch, 2 TD jakes, including the go-ahead TD with 157 remaining. Now we all knew what was going to happen. At least I did. Because number 9 and number 1, they run that dome. Y'all know what happened the last time they was in the Superdome. They won a national championship. Joey walked in there with Homeboy's jersey on, so you know they was going to get it in. Now, yeah, the Saints did put up a fight, but Burrow went Burrow and Jamar Chase, and man, if only that would have happened this past February, the Bengals would be celebrating a Super Bowl victory. So, with that being said, here's my AFC Gauntlet Grinder primary. My second one, I'm going to go a little bit left field here, but that's what I like to do. My second honorable Gauntlet Grinder is Chargers kicker Dustin Hopkins. In a win versus Denver, 19-16 in overtime, he went 4 for 4 in field goals with an extra point. His longest was 39 yards, all on one leg. He was on an injured leg. It was in a brace. He was limping out there, and the man more than did his job. He won the game for the Chargers. Broncos, okay, now this is just bad, okay? Because you just got beat by a one-legged kicker. Like, really? You know? Broncos country, let's ride. What are you? A Ford Miata on half an engine? What's going on? You know what I mean? They went up a hot, quick 10-0, and then after that, they just fizzled out. But Dustin Hopkins, you know, and I know kickers don't get enough praise. And, of course, I'm feeding to the context unless they kick a game winner. But, no, this man had an all-game effort, y'all, on one leg, and that deserves praise. Even to those of y'all who don't consider, you know, kickers football players, it takes a special kind of person to kick a ball like that. You know, just like Jacob alluded to, you got a special kind of talent, you know. Kickers do something that not everyone on the team can do, you know. Are they athletes? No, but they're part of the team. Ask anyone in Super Bowl history who's won the game, who's won a Super Bowl off a game-winning kick. Tell them they ain't special, you know. But Dustin Hopkins, this one's for you. Gauntlet Grinder for Week 6. So let's get the crew back on in here. We got Detroit Dom. I know he's ready to sip something. We got Jacob Christner. I know he's ready to watch the NLCS or something.
Did you say Ford Miata?
I did say Ford. I meant to. I probably meant to say Fiat, but whatever.
Mazda Miata.
Oh, it's the. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mazda Miata. That's right. Sorry.
And by the way, don't say kickers aren't athletes. They are athletes in their own way. And it's like there's a hand-eye coordination.
I was a kicker.
I was just about to say that.
Kickers are very much athletes. They can probably kick your ass in tennis or anything.
Since you brought it up, Jordo, what's the ceiling number for quarterback rate? It's like 150 something.
158.3.
158.3.
That's a
Okay.
perfect game. 158.3.
Mariota finished 13 of 14, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also, 6 carries for 50 yards and another touchdown. And why is it that all these teams that were supposed to be either terrible or tanking have more wins than us?
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? Mariota probably would have been really, really damn close to a 158.3 perfect passer rating, but I believe the criteria is you got to have a minimum of 20 attempts. You only threw the ball 14 times.
The two best quarterbacks of the week, if you're going based off that, are Mariota and Trubisky, because he had a 142.4 himself.
He sure did. But let's get on to our next topic. Just covering real quick, and that is last night on Thursday Night Football, Cardinals beat the Saints 42-34 in a game in which we thought that New Orleans was kind of going to run with it. We saw 2 pick sixes in a minute, long pick sixes, and just like that, the Saints went from being down 14-6 up 14-6 to being down 28-14 at halftime, and it pretty much was over from there. When you look at the Cardinals passing, I mean, Kyler Murray, 20 of 29, 204 yards. He had a touchdown. He had a 100.4 rating. He had a little spat on the sideline, a hissy fit, a toddler fit, whatever you want to call it. He had on the sideline with Cliff Kingsbury, but they said after the game that it was just a disagreement. We all know we didn't care all. I'm sure they talked it out and everything. But, I mean, yeah, of course it happens. I watched Bill O'Brien when he was the offensive coordinator for the Patriots. Him and Tom Brady, like, jawing to each other. You know what I mean? Like, it happens. I didn't see no big deal out of it. Football's an emotional sport. But I felt the need to bring this up because it was much better than the debacles we've seen the last 2 weeks. So just real quick around the horn, your thoughts on last night's game if you watched it.
Looking at the box score, it looks like Andy Dalton. Everything else that I see from them is about what I expected. Is AJ Green alive? Obviously, D-Hop is back in a big way, but no one else did anything.
Bro.
Robbie Anderson had that one target.
D-Hop went 10 for 103.
Wait, Robbie Anderson played?
Yes.
Yeah, apparently.
He did. Yeah, he played. Yeah, that fast.
Yeah, wish I would have watched it.
He was just in a Jets uniform like 15 minutes ago. Swinging on to you, Jacob, your thoughts on last night's game.
Let me bring this part. Anybody that had fantasy, anybody that had Andy Dalton in fantasy is obviously dealing with the other 3 quarterbacks that went down.
Nobody has Andy Dalton in fantasy. I promise you.
Fantasy is dealing with the other 3 quarterbacks that went down. That's my point on that. But last night, even with the 3 interceptions, even with the 2 pick sixes, he still had 30 points.
Yeah. That's insane.
He had himself a game.
That's insane.
Like, here's the deal. Whoever used Andy Dalton on that time,
No one.
Stuff like that, because they've lost their quarterbacks, basically had the win of their life this week. Because
in retrospect, I wish I should have, because Stafford's on a bye this week, and I picked up Tua.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, next week we use Andy Dalton. If we use Andy Dalton next week, he'll have 4 points. He'll have the 3 interceptions without the touchdowns. That's just what he does. So you don't use him full time, but it's one of those. That's one of those. I wish we would have thought of it, but we wouldn't have thought of it because he had 2 straight pick sixes. Yeah. So, but the thing is, at the same time, though, this is, as a Chicago Bears fan, this is what, and I'll tell you this, Jordan, as someone who has to deal with Matt Canada, as someone who has to deal with Matt Canada as an OC, we have this thing of absolute envy. We get to watch these 42-34 games. Okay, I'll say this to Dom. 45-42 is Seattle. We get to watch these teams with beautiful offenses. And then there's Matt Canada and Luke Getsy. And the Bears had the loss to the Commanders 12-7 at home, even though they had 234 yards rushing.
Embarrassing.
That is the thing, is when we see games like this, it makes us jealous, because we had a thing on the other night on Pundit. We talked about this deal. It's like PFF sucks. A lot of PFF is making coaches bad.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of coaches that are thinking they know more. They want to show you how much more they know, and it doesn't go in the flow of the game.
Yeah.
And yet,
PFF at its worst
Totally
is a
agree.
glorified meme.
Yep. And then you get Cliff Kingsbury, who, guess what? He will fail in November, December. Don't get that wrong. But he gets 40-point games like 4 or 5 times, 6 times a year.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Did you hear him say the other day that he'd be willing to relinquish play calling duties for the good
For
of the
what?
team?
Who's he going to give it to? Matt Nagy?
Ooh, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm just
Nah,
saying,
yeah, you gotta pick the lesser of the two evils. I think he should keep that clipboard.
absolutely. I'm just saying. And Matt Nagy's on Kansas City, obviously, but who are you going to give it to? It's like Cliff Kingsbury. He's failing in different ways and not just play calling to be able to get to all this. He isn't getting there. It's just like the biggest thing about it, though, they still have an exciting offense year after year after year, and so do the Saints year after year after year.
Mhm.
These teams that have crappy offenses year after year need to watch themselves. Maybe you have to be simpler. Maybe you have to just go with the flow. Maybe something like that. But these 12-7 games and these horrible other Thursday night football that keeps Dom from watching, it. Maybe you need to take a lesson, and maybe we can have a lot more exciting games.
Maybe so. And before I swing it over to Jordan, to touch on your point about Andy Dalton, if you really think about it, this has been his career. Like he's had he'll have his moments where at best he'll look like a Sison.
Yeah.
And then he'll have his moments where he'll look like David Klingler.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
That'll be
Wow.
David Klinger. Okay, too young. David Klinger. David Klinger. Guess what? You're right on that because next week he'll have 4 points in fantasy. Some song will pick him up because he had 30. He'll have 4.
Exactly. Jordan, your thoughts on the game last night?
Oh man, I started DeAndre Hopkins in fantasy.
I did too. I couldn't believe he was available.
20 points off the rip. I was like, let's go.
Yes.
But anyway, to touch on what I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
The game.
I had Eno Benjamin 23.
Andy Dalton started that game flawless. Long touchdown. Then he threw them 2 pick sixes. At the end of that game, I looked at the stat sheet. They had Kevin White, former Bears first-round pick, had 1 catch for like 64 yards. And then they had 1 catch to another. He's a rookie. I think his last name is like Rashid or something. He had a long-ass touchdown catch.
Who had him in fantasy?
Obviously, you guys are good stretching the field. Why did you stop?
Yeah.
And by the way, that Chris Olave, he's a pretty damn good receiver, man.
Really, I called this his last year at Ohio State. Shout out to Cliff Betts because me and him had this conversation. I said, bro, Olave is going to be a dog when he gets to the pros. Watch what I say.
He's pretty good. Garrett Wilson's pretty good too.
Also, by the way, shout out to Michael Thomas. Traded for him in fantasy. He's been hurt the last 4 weeks. He just got dropped off my team. Shout out to you, Slant Boy.
This is a good time to segue.
Hold on. Shout out to the Saints for shutting down the Bird Gauntlet.
Oh, yeah.
They had the chance to beat all the Bird teams. Cardinals shut it down. Seahawks and Falcons failed.
Yeah. So, overnight, we had a bit of a trade go down that we actually alluded to earlier. Carolina Panthers trade running back Christian McCaffrey to San Francisco 49ers. Now, the details have already been out there. They traded him for some picks. Shout out to Jim Matthews Lewis. We had a conversation last night. The Panthers are clearly in rebuild mode. They got rid of their coach. They got rid of the only bit of offense they had, But I will say this much, and I'm going to keep it short. If this man can stay healthy, him and Debo are going to be a lethal combination. You're bringing the man back to California, to the Bay Area at that, where he went to college. You got go ahead, Jordan.
If
Yes, and that's a big
he
if.
can stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy, yes, but I mean the potential that this brings to that offense is going to be a sick. I mean, as of right now, I've got the Niners winning that division. Obviously, that's the ironic part about the Cardinals winning last night is, believe it or not, they're still in that division because their division is not as strong as we thought that it might be. Or maybe some of you didn't. I know Geno Smith's balling, he's probably overachieving, and that's fine. I was glad to see the brother, get some get back. But according to Christian, alluding to Christian McCaffrey, I think it's a good look. I think he would fit in well in Kyle Shanahan's offense, provided he stays off the IR, stays out of that tent. But I'm gonna swing it over to Dom. Dom, go ahead with your thoughts on this.
Like I said earlier during Sports Moron, apparently Carolina is doing everything now or within the last 2 weeks that they should have done in the offseason. Fire Matt Rule. Trade Christian McCaffrey. My thing is, we all know the deal with San Francisco running backs for the last, 3-4 years. None of them can stay healthy. For however long they ball out. So it's like, so you go and give up a whole bunch of assets for a guy that's already proven that he can't stay healthy. Like, if he does, obviously it tips the scales. But like you said, I had Frisco winning the division just because late in the year, Kyler and Cliff are going to Kyler and Cliff. The Rams are a mess right now. They still have the worst sack differential in the league. And Matt Stafford's throwing pick sixes like it's his job. And he's good at his job right now. And who does that leave? The Seahawks? Come on, it's the Seahawks. I don't, like I said, it was a move. If they were going to make that move, they should have made it in the offseason. Well, a quick what if. What would you have said, Jay, if you traded Deshaun Watson for McCaffrey?
I would have been like, hell no. We had this conversation some time ago. I'm trying to figure out when, but I was like, I don't trust it. Dude can't stay healthy.
You're way better off with the picks than a running back that can't stay healthy, David Johnson.
Yeah, and I think what the 49ers are doing, they're trying to pull the Rams, because you remember how the Rams mortgaged their future for a Super Bowl ring, and it worked. I think San Fran is close to doing the same thing. I think they think their window is open right now, especially since, like you said, the Rams ain't the Rams right now. The Hawks are obviously rebuilding, and you also got the Cardinals who don't even know who they are week to week. So now's as good a time as any for San Fran to win a division.
Right.
I'm not entirely mad at the move, but let's move it over to Jacob. Jacob, what do you think about this?
I am so jealous of Carolina right now. They are doing they are going to get rid of DJ Moore also. They're going to have their thing right now. I want my Bears to do the same fire sale, including Justin Fields. All of it.
That's not going to happen.
I want it. I'm sorry.
You want that rookie cap hit, do you?
I don't care. I have had it. I have had it with constant year after year. We brought up the fans, listening to the fans making stupid things, and you're making stupid. They have stupid once, and they get them, and then it burns the team up. I see it. They don't put They have a Ferrari like Justin Fields. They had a Dodge Challenger like the Mitchell Trubisky. Didn't know how to do anything with either. And then it's like that if you couldn't handle the guy that was an automatic, how can you handle the guy that's with gears? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How are you going to handle that? They don't know how to handle that. They have two runners. They have a run game with 240 yards a game. They don't know how to get more than 7 points. They don't know their system. They don't know anything. You get Bears fans that want to get a DJ Moore. They want to get I said this to a buddy of mine. They want to get a high octane fuel talent for a car that's on blocks in the middle of Atlanta. It's just true. That is what their offense is. It is a card that's on blocks in the middle of South Atlanta. It is what it is. It is garbage. And it's like, and I want the Bears, when I say I want that to be, and it's because of that what they do, they should be doing what Carolina's doing. Carolina, if they're going to be getting rid of Christian McCaffrey, just get rid of it all and start over. And that's what I want my Bears to do. And I don't think that, like Jordan says, I don't think it'll happen because I think these 100-year-old woman and 80-year-old kids, I don't think they want to, they're too old to be getting that kind of thing. But I want to see I want Monsters of Midway gone. I want all of that gone. I want to see new jerseys. I want to see a new offense. I don't want Monsters of Midway anymore. I don't want to see any of that. And as far as Carolina, I don't want to see the old thing there. Maybe I want to see new jerseys on that too. Maybe a new mindset, because the rule completely ruined that team.
Yeah, he absolutely did. Before I speak to Jordan, quick off-topic question for you. Now, which year was that? Was that the 2018 Bears that went 12-4 and lost on the double doink, right?
Yep.
Okay, question for you. If you keep, because that was the best team y'all had in years, if you keep that team, but Matt Nagy is not the coach, do they make the NFC Championship game?
Oh, they make the Super Bowl. They make it.
Oh,
they make it. No, I'm sorry, they do. It's like, no, they make it because they had an amazing defense. You got to understand, Trubisky was never a mistake-prone dude. He didn't make mistakes. Remember, he's played 2 playoff games without an interception, even if he's not the greatest or he's just making the lower passes. He was 2 without a thing. He wasn't going to make the interceptions. He wasn't going to make the mistakes that a lot of them do. So all you had to do is just a real run game.
Yeah,
all you have to do is a real run game and that defense, and they make it.
He was a faster Jim McMahon, if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, McMahon's
wait a minute. Are you telling me that defense and running the ball still wins games?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, no kidding. But not right now. But it's like, I'm saying, though, McMahon's a smarter quarterback than Trubisky. That's just the truth. It's just his main reason, his main problem was he was 175 pounds and thought he weighed 300.
Yeah.
Like Baker.
Let's swing it over to Joro real quick. Your thoughts on the trade?
I mean, man, it's like all y'all have said. If he stays healthy, we've seen Shanahan turn average running backs looking like stars. Now you got this guy. Dude, if he stays healthy, I play him this week. If he plays, I'm about to get screwed.
I know they said that they were going to put him in goal line packages, I guess, until he fully learns the offense.
Dude, you could even do a wildcat with him and Debo. Like when Trey Lance comes back, you could use all 3 of them. Like,
dude, a wildcat with him and Debo and all that, man. That's like a Pac-12 offense on the 49ers, dude.
And then you include Trey Lance into that, like next year, it's like, oh, this is dirty.
I was going to say, if you think about it, when they're all healthy, like Debo's probably top 5.
If they're all healthy.
They're all healthy, yep.
The fact that Kyle Shanahan's going to do that, aside from the fact that he's a terrible head coach. You go back to when they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Though. Great play caller, great coordinator.
Except against the Patriots in that Super Bowl.
Big
he
game.
Lost them that game. Then when they played, the Chiefs with the Niners, his play caller, he blows leads, man.
Well, that's fine. And that's fine. That happens on the thing. Some people do that way. Like
not in Super Bowls. That is not fine.
I mean, Dusty Baker. That's just the thing. Dusty Baker had those. He might finally have his shot, but he had a lot of those years where he's blowing some stuff. It happens with certain people, even the very best. But now I'm going to bring this up. I'm sorry about this. I'll bring the whole thing about Christian McCaffrey. There's one thing that's going to benefit, and it's Jimmy Garoppolo, because he will not have to throw a ball down the field the rest of the damn year. He's got Debo. He has got Debo. He's got Christian McCaffrey. They've got a run game. They've got all that stuff. He is just going to make 25 points of the fantasy points a game based off of those guys just running the ball 47 times.
They also
they got another species in Ayuk, so man,
he's reemerging. Kittle's still healthy.
Kittle
Get
still
a
healthy.
Defense
So,
is
yeah, I
just
mean that offense
sitting.
is awesome. But we're within the last 5 minutes of the show. We got two quick topics here. I'll actually let Dom lead this one off here. And so, Cowboys, Dak Prescott is back. Dak is back. Just like in the 80s, crack is whack. Well, Dak is back.
Yeah.
Okay. We all seen this coming, okay? The second that Cooper Rush loses a game, all of a sudden Dak's good. You know, and regardless of what that owner in Arlington got to say, there ain't no way, and I'm talking to you Cowboys fans, ain't no way Cooper Rush better than Dak Prescott, period. You fooling yourself if you thinking he is. You paying attention to the shiny new toy, just like every average fan does, okay? Let me tell you something. Dak is the leader of that team. He's the driver of that train, and he is back, and he's going against Dom's Lions on Sunday. So your thoughts about that upcoming game? I'm gonna be pulling for y'all though.
Yes, Dak is better than Cooper Rush. Is he considerably better? No, he's not, because
Oh, yeah,
they didn't have to change that offense very much when Dak got hurt. It's still focused on the run game. They have two good backs. Their O-line is still good. Their defense is top 15. It's not as good as it's ranked right now, because you saw what happened when they played, a good offense like Philadelphia. They lost. They didn't play bad, and it's not like it was a blowout. But
I was about to say.
I mean, I got to figure our offense gets right this week. I mean, I was not overly surprised that we got absolutely shut down by Bill Belichick, but we're coming back. We're angry. 2 weeks to, sit there and stare at a zero in the points scored column.
I
Plus,
was also angry for fantasy football.
Jerry's going to get his wish, because a couple weeks ago he said he likes having a quarterback controversy. Well, you're going to have one when your $40 million a year quarterback goes out there and lays an egg. Maybe not an egg like a zero, but we're going to win that game. I'm not afraid of Dak Prescott. Plus, our defense is getting healthier. Sadly, we don't get to see Jameson Williams torch Trayvon Diggs this week. They're bringing him back slowly, but
Amon-Ra St. Brown, though.
one of our more impactful defensive linemen from earlier in the year, John Kaminsky, he's coming back this week. We're finally getting to see our second-round pick, Josh Pascal, and we're going to win this game because everyone's like, oh, you can't win in Dallas. Dallas is good, and you're not. And that may be the case on the surface, but as soon as I saw that game on the schedule, I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna win that game, and we will. And you'll get your wish, Jerry Jones. Now you've really got a quarterback controversy, because you brought Dak back, and now he loses to the Lions. Now what do you do?
Oh, man.
And your defense looks ordinary against a top flight O-line.
Yeah. Jacob, on you. Your thoughts about this game and on the return of Dak Prescott.
Let me tell you this right now, Dom. You can easily win this game. I'm telling you this right now. I believe it, actually. But here's the deal. Here's the thing on this. It ain't going to be because of Dak. It isn't going to be any of this thing. Here, the thing about it is Cooper Rush is Kyle Orton without the alcohol with a hotter wife. That is just the truth. It is just the truth. You cannot stretch the field with Cooper Rush. You cannot get into 48 points. You cannot get into 48-point shootouts with Cooper Rush. You cannot get into any.
You can't even get into 20-point shootouts with Cooper Rush.
You can't stretch the field with Dak either, unless it's a catch and run.
Oh, please. But, I mean, Dak's just going to know. I mean, the thing is, we put Cooper Rush in the playoffs and watch him get 4 interceptions in a minute. I mean, I am not kidding you on that. But I'm just saying this.
Neither one's going to win in the playoffs.
Well, I get your point. But the thing about it is the fact that it's like, yeah, Detroit can win on this. But the thing is, Dak is more dynamic, and you can have – and the thing is, you know what you said, that he can't stretch the field, blah, 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 maybe because of his hand. He can still throw the ball a lot farther than Cooper Rush.
Yep.
And he can get the game, and he can get a 40-point game, and he can get a shootout, where win or lose. He can get that. And I think you could have a shootout on Sunday, by the way. And he could – because guess what? If you're playing Cooper Rush, you'll blow him out.
You know what the biggest difference in my opinion is between Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott? If your team is down by 3 scores, who do you trust to bring them back more? Cooper Rush or Dak Prescott?
Oh my God, Dak.
Neither.
No.
Tony Pollard.
If you're down by
You've seen Dak do it many a time.
Yeah.
if you're down by 3 score, if you're down by 21, Dak will get you 18.
Yeah, but he did it against Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
He did it against Atlanta. But
but hang on. But to Dom's point, you said Dak will get you 18. Dak will get you back in a ball game. We did okay. The Eagles pinned their ears back, and then when they finally woke up, you saw what happened. You know what I mean? Like
Cooper Rush had a 106-yard game in perfect weather. That's one thing to have it in a monsoon. He had a 106-yard game, 10 for 21. Yeah, he got a game because he see the thing. This is the thing about backup quarterbacks. They can be able to direct a ball game. They can read the field. You know what that makes them? It makes them offensive coordinators on the
field.
Coordinators on the field, and that's what they can do. There will be coaches later, and I'll bet you Cooper Rush will be a great coach later. Bet you'll be.
And to your point, who was a backup quarterback, a career backup that ended up being a offensive coordinator and a head coach for that very same team, Jason Garrett.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I'll take Cooper Rush's 1-loss record in the short term, as well as over a full season, because he costs roughly 1/40th of what Dak does.
Yeah,
Dak's not winning you games, and you're paying him $40 million a year.
I think Cooper's wife went to that game because she's trying to get the bag herself.
Probably so. Real quick, Jordan, your thoughts on Dak coming back and the game this Sunday?
All right, Dom, Dak definitely does win you games because when he...
Oh, he froze up. Hey, he froze up, man.
Yeah, because he told a lie. StreamYard was like, no.
All right, there we go. We're back. All right, so I personally feel like Dak should have been back against the Eagles.
He would have been killed.
He gives your team a better chance of winning the game because you can actually throw the ball. Cooper Rush threw 3 interceptions, man. Yeah. I feel if Dak was in that, they'd probably still lose.
They lose by a touchdown.
Philly's on another level this year. They didn't look like Philly in that game, though. That Dallas defense is pretty damn.
Lane Johnson also went out, too.
Yeah, Micah Parsons did not play a factor until Lane Johnson got hurt. I will say that. Yeah. Because I watched it happen, and I turned the game off because I thought the Cowboys were going to end up winning, and I was like, forget this, man. I'm not watching it.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, man. But to put it in perspective, I wouldn't say it's going to be a total shootout because the Cowboys have a pretty damn good defense. But the Lions are going to 25 plus. So I'll say Lions win 30-26. Give it a weird score.
Yeah, that's a little that's not a bad take right there. Well, we're over the time, but we still will hit our non-sports topic just real quick. And that is, what would you do if your significant other cheated on you with your favorite player? Me, that ain't a damn thing I really could do because, well, you know, typically the phrase in life goes that when women cheat, they tend to cheat up. You know, so they're gonna find a man that's obviously better than you in some aspect, and then you know, fool around and mess around on you. You know, with my favorite ball player, I think I'd probably call him up and be like, "Hey, man, look, if you you got it, dude. You know what I mean? Just give me free tickets to like a playoff game, and we're set or something." But Dom, but overall, dude, I mean, there's nothing I could do. Obviously, she found a dude that was way better than me, so like, you know, it just is what it is. We'll just see how long that lasts. But Dom, what about you?
I would ask her to do it again and let me hang out with him, and then I'll leave, and y'all do what you do.
Jacob, what about you?
There ain't anybody better than me. So I mean, you went down. You cheated down. So, and I would just tell the guy, hey, she's your problem now.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Jordan, what about you? If your significant other cheated on you with your favorite player,
Well, I'm not going to fight TJ Watt.
Hey,
Enough said.
he has a heart defibrillator, so he might not be able to handle you anymore.
He could
I
still
would also ask her to roofie him so I could run his pockets.
Yeah.
give me that bank card for an hour.
Yeah, right.
Oh man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does wrap this up. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to this episode of the Gauntlet, taking time out of your Friday night. Know we got some playoff games on. It's a tie game out there in Philly right now. But Dom, let everybody know where we can find you.
Oh, man, let me think. Monday, Fire Up Michigan with Scott Morgan-Roth, Smoking Jeremy B, and the other guy whose name I can't remember. Wednesday's Kneecap Biting. That's the NFL Roundtable. You may or may not see one Jordan 412 on there representing the Steelers.
The Steelers.
The Steelers. Thursdays, once we start back up, the Sip Off. That's Megan Price, Jahan Phillips, occasionally Anthony Brown. That's at like 8:15 on Thursdays. I think we're going to start in January. Also at 7 o'clock, Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. Fridays, Lions Man Cave, also with Smoking Jeremy B. And this show at 8.
What is this show called?
This show is called The Gauntlet. Stay informed. Sundays, 8 p.m., Basket Bros, myself, Jacob Christner, Jay Nelson, Will Vogel, Scott Morgan-Roth. That's it.
All right. And Jacob, where can everyone find you?
Sunday night, Basket Bros, as he brought it up right then and there. Monday nights during the season, NBA Carousel, Megan Price's NBA Carousel, during whenever we get that. And plus, I got another show coming up soon. I will bring it up this week. Tuesday, Confidential during the season. We will not be in 11 o'clock anymore, thank God. Let's see. Wednesday nights, doubleheader, The Pundit's Pundit, my show, with all of everybody else. And then it's a doubleheader with Scott Morgan-Roth with the Sports Exchange. Thursday nights, I'm away from the Sideline Sports doing Yin and Yang with TJ Sanson. We do a bunch. We do everything from psychology to films to politics. And Jay said he'd be on sometime. You will be. And then that's it from there. And I got to go. I'll talk to you later.
All right. And Jordan, thanks for coming on the show. Also, thanks, Jacob, for coming on the show. Jordan, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Jordan Pennington if you can find my profile picture.
Also at Richard Long.
No.
That's dead?
They took my original account, so Richard Long is also Jordan Pennington now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say not Ricky Long, Ricky.
But anyway, can I just say I really hope we trade Chase Claypool to the Packers for like a draft pick, please and thank you.
Literally the day after me and you talked about it, I saw those rumors start to pop up.
Right, and also I'm glad he's still not starting, but shout out to Mitch Trubisky for coming in and playing flawlessly last week. I hate Tom Brady. Now I hope we lose every game for the rest of the season. Get that top 5 draft pick, baby.
Absolutely. Thanks to Jordan Pennington. That's 3 times.
One more time.
I need a drink. We about to get up out of here. I done called this man Jordan Long 3 times. Jordan Pennington, thank you for coming on the show. Of course, Dom. So for Dom, shout out to JT Shiesty. He's watching a hell of a game out of the ballpark right now between the Phillies and the Padres. Shout out to JJ Jenkins. Thanks to Jacob Christner, Pundit's Pundit, for coming on the show. And we will see you all in 7 days. Peace!